Well, hi, good evening, everybody. It's Andrew coming out to you here. And apologies if I'm not looking directly at the camera, but the camera is here. And I have a monitor here. I have a monitor here. I have a monitor here. I have a monitor there and a monitor there. So you will notice that I do wander about a little bit when I am in the room, as it were, in actually talking to you as I'm looking from one screen to another. So I do apologize if that gets a little bit distracting. It shouldn't do, but it may do. If it does, then you'll now understand why, purely because I'm moving around a little bit. So what I thought I'd first of all do tonight is a questions and answers webinar. And I've got lots and lots of questions. I've had lots of questions that have come into me, which are on the screen over here, which I'll go through quite a number of those over the next period of time. But also on the screen that you have in front of you, you have a menu to the side and there is a chat button at the top. So if you wish to ask me a question, just hit the chat box, scroll down to the bottom of the screen and you will be able to enter in your question and I'll be able to pick that up fairly straightforwardly. So that's quite nice and easy to use. So what I'll do first of all is I'm just going to start off with something a little bit amusing, purely because I've just come off another webinar that I've been doing, which has been a marketing webinar, but looking at the Christmas period and what is about to happen for a lot of people who are in business at the moment, coming up to Christmas, and some issues that they're going to potentially have with some of their deliveries or their delivery partners. So let me just change to screen share. There we go. And now I will press the play button. Did you see that? Brilliant. Here we come. There's your delivery. Don't you just love it? And that is courtesy of Yodel. You just cannot buy this stuff. It's really good. Now, I do have a particular favorite with Yodel, and this is me picking on Yodel again, but you will see why. I'm going to quickly play this for you as well. I just think it's so amusing. Drop the volume on this one a little bit. So here we go. Nice delivery. Pop up to the gate. Let's ring the bell. No, let's dump it over the top. Let it fall on the ground. Yeah, the box will bounce. Do we know whether it's fragile? No, I haven't got a clue. But now this guy goes and he taps out onto his little pad. He's actually delivered the item, which he has, but he's tapping it out as if he's left it in a safe place. And then you'll see in a second, he takes a card out of his pocket, writes on the card to say, I've left your item for you. It's in a safe place or whatever. When they open the gates, they're going to see it. But he goes, puts that in their post box. You know, how good is that? Just too lazy to ring the buzzer on the gate. So I just find that highly, highly amusing. Sorry about that. I just thought I got to show you those two. That particular one is a favorite of mine. It was one that we knew quite well. We used to do all our deliveries through Yodel when we were doing them ourselves with our own warehouses and staff. We had Yodel as one of our contractors. We inherited them through DHL because we used to use DHL as well. DHL were perfect, but when they sold out the UK distribution rights to good old Yodel, it was just, shall we say, not brilliant, and it went downhill from there completely. So you know, there we go. So there we are. Christmas is coming up, and if you're listening to this replay, this webinar as a replay out of the members site at some other time of the year, then you know a lot of the questions and answers will be still relevant. But Christmas is coming up, and a lot of people are thinking, how do I take advantage of this time of year? So one of the things that we need to have a quick think about and look at here is, what is it that you're actually selling at the moment? You need to make sure that if you've got sales there now, that those sales are actually going to be maximized as we go forward into the Christmas period. Now we have a very short window, so I've got the questions to go through here, but I'm coming back to you with some of the stuff that's come back from this webinar that I did prior to doing this one. So it's a busy night, and if my voice goes, I apologize. But the Christmas period, there's a number of people out there that are saying, I haven't organized my stock yet. Where should I buy stock from? If you haven't got your Christmas stock sorted, then you're probably almost too late unless you do it within the next week to 10 days. If you're bringing stock in, if you're affiliate marketing or if you're drop shipping, then you need to make sure your stock is going to be available and that the people that you're selling for or selling from are able to meet the demand. Now, affiliate marketing, that is straightforward, because if it's an affiliate link that you're using, then they are going to have stock and it should be live most of the time. If you're drop shipping, you need to talk to your suppliers to find out where their peaks and troughs are, because with drop shipping, you're advertising it, you're taking the money, therefore the onus is on you. Whereas with affiliate marketing, all you're doing is pushing their adverts, pushing their products through your reviews and your blogs, etc., and they are sending the product out, so it should just drop off. But you need to keep your finger on the pulse, especially if your market at the moment is heavily targeted towards Christmas and seasonal periods of time. So that is one of the things to look at. And if you're bringing in white label product, so you're bringing in product from another country that you are boxing yourself, the chances are you're too late. If you're bringing it out of China, unless you're going to fly it in, which is going to increase your cost, the chances are you're too late for that Christmas market. So now you need to be planning for the next lots of seasonal spikes. Now, those seasonal spikes could be Valentine's Day, they could be Mother's Day, it could be Easter. Let me give you a little bit of a tip on how some of this works, and then we'll get straight into the questions and answers. And don't forget, if you've got any questions, hit that chat button that is on the looking on my screen. It's on the top right hand side. It says chat, and there's a little text box in there, and you can whiz across your question to me quite easily. Right, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. There we go. Right, that's typical, isn't it? Go off slightly at a tangent. So no, if you are looking at seasonal products, you've got to think about where you should be selling and where you should be bringing stock in and what market you're planning to hit. When is your stock going to arrive in the country? So to give you a little idea here, one of the things that you will find at the moment is that Christmas is done. Christmas is sorted. Anybody that's in retail has sorted it. The people that are selling the product now are the ones that are making the money. The wholesalers, the factories, all the rest of it, they've moved on. They're dealing with summer. But some factories are dealing with Christmas 2015. In the UK, in January, normally the second weekend of January or thereabouts, there is a trade show up in Harrogate. If you're going to get into Christmas from the point of view of being part of your main route to market, then you need to be looking at visiting the Harrogate Trade Fair, which is the Christmas trade fair. Now, what you will find there is artificial Christmas trees, Christmas lights, Christmas gifts. You'll find a whole load of stuff up there. But that trade event happens in January. So 2 weeks after Christmas has finished, people are up there putting in the orders for next year for the following Christmas. So they're ordering almost 11 and a half months in advance. Now, that might sound crazy. It's the way it is. That is the way that it's done. And that is where you need to go to get some ideas, talk to a few people, look at some of the products that are there, find some drop shipping angles for some niche products, because there are some very high-end niche products out there that do not actually fit the normal mold, which you could be selling, and you could be starting to build your website up around about June and July, so that you can start hitting the people that are a little bit more organized than the rest of us mortals, the ones that plan way ahead. Me, Christmas is normally the Christmas Eve would be my normal time for purchasing things, but this year I'm actually going out of the UK for Christmas. I'm doing a 3-week charity stint at an orphanage in Nepal, where I'm taking some of my camera equipment, and I'll be making some videos for them and taking some photographs of what the charity does there. And I'm going to spend 3 weeks over Christmas and New Year working with the charity in Nepal. That doesn't mean to say I won't be in touch with anybody. I will. I have got broadband out there, I've been assured, and the place that I'm staying at has Wi-Fi, and there are plenty of hotels and restaurants and places like that that have Wi-Fi and generators, so I shall be absolutely fine. I'll be able to work as well, because I won't be spending every hour of every day for those 3 weeks with the team that's there. There's about 6 or 7 of us, which will be out there, and we will all be out there for that 3-week period. So that is going to be fantastic. So right now then, let's get into looking at some of the questions that have come in. Now, these questions are fairly generic, and they are all pretty standard. It's the sort of thing I get on a regular basis. And, you know, every time people send questions in, we try and keep them and log them. And during the call, some of the questions may be relevant to the people that are on the call, but if that is the case, I'm not going to say by name or anything like that, because obviously I need to keep certain things fairly confidential. But if I touch on something that is relevant to you, then don't worry about it. I'm not going to give any of your secrets away. So one of the things that we are looking at, one person in particular, is looking at getting product to sell through people like Groupon, Voucher, you know, the voucher sites. So if you do want to go down those routes and actually get stock into those, you need to start your discussions really early, and you then need to put a pricing structure together that is going to work for you and with you on making sure you're able to sell the product. Because let's just say, and this is something that I cover in one of the videos, but one of the things that you've got to really think about is, where are your price points on this? If you're buying something for £100, sorry, you're selling something for £100, and that is your full retail price, and you're buying it in at £20, what you've got to do is you've got to carve that £100 up so that everybody in the food chain is making some money. And this is something that we've been working on, and I've worked with before, and I've been working on with a couple of clients now who are going down the voucher route by bringing stock in bulk. So you've got to advertise your product for 28 days or so in the UK at full retail price. It's got to be on the website. These sites will not just say, yeah, okay, we'll do that. If you're going to do a deal with one of these voucher sites, and if you're going to package some product up for them, they want to make sure that that product is going to be bona fide, that people are going to be able to find the true price that it's been advertised out there. So your RRP has got to be visible and available for inspection. So it needs to be on a website, it needs to be on Amazon, it needs to be on play.com, it needs to be on eBay, Pinterest, wherever it is that the marketplace is. Then you can then put a plan together, and you can do this with white label products. So if it's white label product that you're shipping in yourself, the same rules apply. It's just that it's your brand. So that is very important here, and this is a good way of getting to market very quickly and getting some sales in quick. But let's just look at the numbers for a minute. So if you've got something that's coming in and it's going to be full RRP of £100, it's costing you 20, you've got £80 in there. If there's VAT and taxes to be dealt with as well, you've got to take that into account. But there's £80. So your RRP, let's say, is £100. Your normal selling price you might put at, say, £79. You then might want to do a deal with a voucher site. Now, the voucher site will say, okay, we've got to give a bigger discount than your normal selling price. So from £79, we might be going down to £59. Or they really like savings of 50%. So they might want to take it to £49. So you got retail price £100, normal selling price 79. You might have £49 being the price that you're going to sell it at. Now, bearing in mind it's cost you 20, that leaves £29, or if you're rounding it up to 50, it leaves £30 in the pot. You and the voucher company have got to split that £30 and deal with any taxes and deal with any postage. So can you see, if you're bringing some product in or you're doing a deal with a voucher site, you've got to get your numbers right. And that is something that is really ongoing at the moment with a couple of people, and they are trying to reach agreements with voucher companies where they can all make some money. But one of the key things with the voucher companies, they are great at getting that product out in front of the customer, or getting the details of the product in front of the customer. So from that point of view, they're really well worth looking at. And if you can find some stock that somebody else owns and you can put the deal together as a drop shipper, even better, because then you haven't got to do anything. What you've got to do is make sure that stock is being delivered. So if you go to somebody like Groupon, or you go to Voucher, and if you go in, scroll right down to the bottom and have a look at their site maps, if you go into their site maps, they will give you the rules and regs that they want you to work by. So a great place to research how you're going to take some stuff to market. So I would certainly recommend that you do that. That would be extremely useful for you. The other thing that you can actually start looking at is, and again, this may not be relevant to everybody at the moment, but another area to look at is your television channels and your shopping channels. Your shopping channels are brilliant. Same sort of rules apply. You've got to be able to make it so that you've got a good big price, you've got a big saving, and there's still a chunk of change in there that you can carve up so that the shopping channel gets paid, the courier gets paid, you get paid, any damages and breakages and things like that are all accounted for, and you all still make a profit. So before you go into that side of it, make sure that you've worked out your numbers. If you're dealing with a white label product, so it's your own product, then that is absolutely fantastic, purely because you're in control of that price point. You may have some competition in the marketplace, but if you've branded it yourself, then you've got a brilliant price point there. So don't forget, if you've got any questions that you want, pop them in that chat box and send them across. That's not a problem, and I can deal with those as well. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the questions that we've had come in from a number of people, and a number of people that will be on the call will recognize these. Most of these I've already answered directly to them, so we are just picking up with the answers. So now then, I've got one question here which is very, very interesting. Got an item that has sold 2,000 plus times, and it has kept selling, and this was on eBay, and they wanted to try and revise the listings by changing the titles and the pictures, etc. Now, they've sold over 2,000 of these items. So when you're on eBay and you have a high selling item that has got a lot of sales, what actually happens is you're able to see the number of sales that have been made for that particular product. Now, let me just go and find something here for you that will show us that. Help if I could spell. That's better. And what they're afraid of, this is something that I come across on a regular basis. People get worried about dropping an item that they've had for sale for a long period of time because it's got traction within eBay. And the answer to that is yes, it does have traction within eBay, but does that mean that it is something that is really, really worth keeping control of? Now I'm going to swap over to a screen just so as you can see what I mean by the traction now. There we go. You should be looking at that screen. So let me just zoom in on this. Okay, so now you can see that this product here has sold 1,575 lines. Okay, so if I click on that, it will give me the latest sales. Now, this is something very useful for you when you're looking at your competition as well. Use this as part of your competition analysis. And I know I'm straying away from the original question, but this is really, really important because you can actually see if there's been any price changes. Now, on this one, they've got a lot of things that you buy at different prices. So they've got quite a lot of different things in there. But sometimes you'll find things that are listed which will have different prices that they've put the price up, or they've put a sale price in and the prices have changed. So this can be extremely good way of analyzing your competition. But what would happen here if they decided that they needed to change their title? Now, in here, we go back to titles, and you know, the first thing I would say in here is why bother putting that in? They're not keywords. Now, you all know all about keywords, so you wouldn't have brand new in your title. You would have other keywords in there. So you would find some other keywords in there. That's not a keyword either. That's not a keyword either. The and sign isn't either. So, there's quite a lot of problems with the title for them. They're still making great sales, but they might want to increase. So what they're saying here is, should they, and what would happen if they wanted to change the title? Well, they would have to end the listing. It is that simple. Now, a high volume selling listing has traction. So they now have a dilemma. Do they end the listing and change the title to make sure it's got more keywords and hope that it comes back up? Or do they keep the existing one and on the basis that it isn't broken, so don't fix it? It is a choice that you have to make. For me, I would be looking at changing the title. You should be able to get that product back up to those levels very, very quickly. But I would be looking at changing that title to do so. So again, and I'd be looking at getting video in there and all the rest of it. So they haven't, there's lots of things they can do in there to change it. So that gives you the idea there. Yes, it's got traction, but yes, I'd make it better, and I would probably bring in more sales to it. So we can go with that one. Right, so another question there is, because don't forget, once you've actually listed something on eBay, you cannot change the title. On anything else, you can always change that title, but on eBay you can't. Right, now then, somebody who's having problems with selling things. So they're checking their items, it's ranking on keywords, but they're not getting any sales through. Why is that? Well, there's probably something in what they're doing. I'll just change that back. There we are. Sorry, you're back with me, folks. There is probably something that they're doing very wrong in they haven't got their keywords working properly, and they are not going through the motions of getting things done correctly. So if they are marketers, affiliate marketers, drop shippers, they're not pushing their product hard enough. They need to go back in, need to check their keywords, and they need to check the competition. That is absolutely vital. Absolutely vital. Another one here, and this is something to be very aware of, is your guarantee periods and your return periods. And this particular client of mine has had something returned to them exactly 100 days after it was purchased, and the customer is asking for a replacement. It's actually broken. So on that, they've taken a complaint out, and they've made it a complaint case through PayPal, and PayPal are investigating. So that, after 100 days, should either be review, repair, or very sorry, can't help you. You need to make sure your guarantees are absolutely spot on, because if you give somebody a 100-day guarantee on something and you put it in writing, you are going to have to honor that. Now then, something else with guarantees that you need to be aware of. If you are going to give a 30-day money back guarantee, if you're going to give a 10-day money back guarantee, if you're going to give a lifetime guarantee, do not be surprised if your credit card provider withholds payment from you for that period of time, because you're putting the credit card holder at risk by offering such guarantees, and the credit card company, your merchant services company, will potentially withhold payment back to you purely because you are giving them a extended period of warranty. So something else to be aware of. On Amazon, you do not get paid for 14 days, or every 2 weeks a payment is dispatched. It still takes a week to come through. With eBay, you can normally draw the money out of PayPal straight away. But if you're going to put some big guarantees and you're going to have some big numbers going through, you will have some issues with either PayPal or merchant services at some stage with money being held back. So something to really focus on your guarantees and how you actually put them there. And again, with drop shippers and affiliate marketers, you might find that anybody who's affiliating through might have to wait a little while to get their payments if they are being treated in the same way. Another question that came in: is it true that Amazon will ban you if you have no sales in 3 months? The answer to that is no. Amazon won't ban you and close your account down. They will look at your account. If your account falls into very negative position over a period of time, then they will look at your sales rankings and your percentages, and you may find that they will put you under some form of restriction. So that could be probably the only thing that could happen, unless you were a really, really bad seller. And we've got here now then how to add multiple websites to my Amazon account. Do I have to take permission from Amazon? Simply add website with different tracking code, etc., etc. Now this one was very, very, very confusing. What you've got to do, if you've got multiple websites and if you want to run your website on Amazon's platform, you can do that. You can do that purely by moving that domain name, the DNS settings, and now we're getting to the technical stuff. We're going a little bit deeper. You would have to move your DNS settings from wherever it is hosted now to Amazon. If you've already got a shop up and running, then what you would have to do is close it down for a period of time and redo it in Amazon, unless you have somebody who is really, really good at doing that type of thing for you and you're using similar themes. Amazon has its own shopping website scenario where you can put your domain name and you can open a shop and you can also run your Amazon business alongside of it. That means that if you sell something on Amazon and you're using Amazon fulfillment services, if it sells in your .co.uk or .com shop, then Amazon will automatically fulfill it out of your account because it is all linked, and it means your stock is linked as well. So that is a great way for you to actually move stock forward. But if you want to open an Amazon shop and you want it trading next to it, then you are going to have to, if you've got an existing one, close it down and reopen it. Or the other thing you could look at doing is cloning it by having a slightly different domain name. So let's say you have one which is my toy shop. Then what you might do is have My Toy Shop UK. So you might keep your existing shop as a standalone unit. It may not be doing as many sales as you want, but you may want to keep that so that you keep it trading. And then you might do something like My Toy Shop UK, for argument's sake, as the clone version of your shop, which would stand alongside Amazon. Most of the keywords would still be the same. Right, okay. What about guaranteeing a product which is personalized or to the customer's specific requirements? Okay. If you're doing now, I sell a lot of personalized product. So wherever I'm doing personalization for a product, we normally ask for a proof before it goes out, and the proof is then agreed by the customer. And because they've agreed the proof, when they get it, and we always make sure we do it by email. And if it's through an Amazon or an eBay or a play.com or one of the other sites, Pinterest, places like that, we ask them to make sure that the emails are routed through that site so that if there's a complaint that has to go to PayPal, to Amazon, to eBay, that way they can see the whole trail. So every item that we sell that's personalized is approved through that site, and it does not get dispatched until we have an email from that customer. A phone call's no good. You cannot prove a phone call. You must get that. If the item arrives damaged, you've got to replace it or refund it. That's straightforward. That's how it is. If the item is just rejected because they don't like it, the issue you've got here is the distance selling regulations. The customer is entitled to return it. However, in your terms and conditions, you need to be putting in there that personalized items are non-returnable once the items have been approved. So you need to do that. Now, if it ends up in a dispute because they've ordered a jumper to be personalized by somebody with a sewing machine, by embroidering it, that was the word I'm looking for. So if they've looking for an embroidered item, then if you have given them what they've asked for and they've said yes, that's fine, but the jumper arrives with them and it's the wrong size, then that is not a returnable item because they've purchased the size that you have put there. The only way that that could be returnable is if you have misled on your sizing. So that would be something you would need to look at. If you mislead them in any way in the text, in the information that you put in there, then that could cause you a problem. So don't ever mislead anything in the description. That will come back and bite you at some stage. But personalized goods, as long as you've got the proof signed off, you're absolutely fine to go. And in all fairness, we've never had anything returned from a personalized point of view for it being faulty after it's been approved. We have had things which have gone out which have had errors on them that somebody had altered the proof after it had been approved, and you could see the error. That's happened, but it's only happened a couple of times. So the personalization market is extremely lucrative and is very, very good, but just make sure you have your systems in place to deal with that. And the systems must always be email, and email through, wherever possible, the platform that you're selling if it's not your own website. So I hope that answers your question. That's a question that's come in live on the event tonight. So that's absolutely fine. Right, what have we got here? Okay, this question, it took me a little while to work out what they were asking. So, right. eBay is charging for postage when they are sending product via email. If you're sending a downloadable product, you cannot charge postage. It's okay, they didn't word it in that way, and I'm having to reread it again, although I answered it 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a downloadable product that they were selling, but they were charging postage, and they wanted to charge postage for a downloadable product. They thought that they could get away with that, and they thought they could challenge that within eBay, so that eBay would say, yes, that's absolutely fine, you can charge postage. If it's a downloadable product, you cannot charge postage for it. It just doesn't work. And if you're trying to sell downloadable products, there are only certain products, both on eBay, on Amazon, on play.com, which you can actually sell as a download. You cannot just sell a report. I couldn't just put my DVDs or my books, other than through Kindle, for argument's sake. I couldn't put my books onto Amazon as a PDF download. That they won't wear it. eBay won't wear it, but I can do it through Kindle, which is an approved method. So there are certain things you can do. There are certain things that you cannot do on downloadable product. Okay, this is another one. This was actually from somebody who made a purchase, and I think it's relevant because it actually flags up that you need to be careful if you're selling on eBay or one of the auction sites. And bearing in mind there's a large number of auction sites out there, you need to be aware of this. If you're going to put a reserve price on an item, so let's say you were going to sell it for minimum bid of £600, but you accidentally put in 60 and it went for £60, the contract that you have is to supply the product at the price that those paid at the reserve price once it had been met. So if you have in error put a reserve price in which is lower than you wanted, tough, your loss. It's as simple as that. And eBay and the other auction sites would expect you to honor that. Now, you might be able to get out of it. You might be able to talk your way out of it. You might just refuse to send the product to the actual purchaser. If you do that, the chances are that you're going to have some sort of warning or some sort of policy violation or something like that put on your account for doing that. So you'd have to take that risk. So this is something about checking. This is making sure that when you put a listing on there that you've actually checked everything so that you know that it is absolutely spot on and it's right before it actually goes ahead and you actually sell it. And another one here, similar scenario. They purchased something for £70, and the proper price was supposed to be 370, and they don't want to send it out to the customer, and they've asked me what should they do. Well, if you put it on there, you can go to the customer and say, look, very sorry, it is a genuine mistake. We made an error on the price and we cannot let it go for that, but we will give you a discount and we will do it as a gesture of goodwill at whatever. So if it was 370, look at what your cost price is, and you might say to that person, look, we'll do it for 280 for you, but purely as a one-off. Either that or it's a genuine mistake, we cannot send it out. If the customer kicks up a bit of a fuss and wants to make a complaint to whoever, then you're going to have to deal with that complaint and be prepared to actually defend yourself, or just sort of let it ride, or you might want to just take the hit. We've done a few things like that in the past, and what I've tended to do is pick the phone up, speak to the customer and try and negotiate with them. If the customer has turned round and said, sorry, no, I'm not having it, I'm going to go all the way and I'm going to make a big complaint about it, then what I would normally do, if it was a small value item, is I would probably just let it go. If it was a large value item, myself personally, I would just say, well, I'm very sorry, I'm unable to send it to you and we cannot fulfill that order. We will cancel the order at our end and we will send you a refund. It's called a fait accompli. Very often when you do that, when you make the odd mistake, that actually resolves it, because they will either say, right, okay, well, I'll take your money, but I'm not happy, and that's it, end of story. They go off and have a grump. Or they will turn around to you and say, well, okay, but I really want one. What is the best price? And then you can go in and turn that customer experience around from it being a negative experience to being a positive experience. Now, something else for you from remarketing and marketing, and this goes across the board to whatever products you're selling, where you're selling them, whether you're drop shipping affiliates or whether they're physical products, and whether it's your own products. When you take money through PayPal, PayPal have an arrangement with a company called Aweber, and Aweber will allow you to have your PayPal customers opt in to Aweber, so you can build your list of customers. Now, if this doesn't make sense, just bear with me here. Let's just go into, I'm going to just set up Aweber so that you can see. So Aweber partners. This is a great way of marketing and remarketing. And you can go into, that's affiliate, you can actually affiliate with them as well. Where are we? Knowledge base, webinars, guides. Just have a look. Let me just move over onto here so that you can see what I'm looking at. There we go. So what we're looking at here is the email marketing APIs. Will that give me the information I want? That's giving, I'm looking for their partners. Where's partners on here? Well, they've moved their partners. Event media kit. Okay, so not going to be able to show you that because they've moved their partners list by the looks of it. Oh no, it's up here. Or is this just their affiliates? No, it is. That's just their affiliates. I'm actually looking for the partners. Right. The way Aweber works is quite simple. You create an Aweber account. I have one. So when you receive emails from me, as you have tonight, about the webinar, you will be receiving those emails through a platform called Aweber. So I will go in and I will type my email in, and then I will just hit one button and it goes to everybody, or it goes to everybody on that list. So if you're selling products and you're taking money through PayPal, PayPal will link up with this company called Aweber, and they will then, when somebody makes payment to you through PayPal, their details will be sent to Aweber. You will then have an automated email. Don't forget that some of this I'll be going through in other videos, so it'll get a lot more detailed. I'm just giving you the way of building your lists here. You will then have an email go out and it will say, thank you very much for your order. To be advised on future offers or your delivery times or whatever it is, please click the link here to accept emails from us. So that then builds you a list of your customers. This is one area that so many people just do not take on board. The best way to get repeat business is from your existing customers. So if you sell 100 items, so if you've brought in under a white label 100 units and you've sold 100 units through PayPal for the monetary side of it, then there's an opportunity to pull some of them in. Now, not everybody's going to click the button and say, I agree, but you might get 50%. Let's say you get 50%, and of that 50%, you send them out an offer in about a month's time, a couple of weeks' time, whatever it needs to be, depending on your business and how it works. All of a sudden, you have got a chance to actually resell to them or remarket to them another product which is similar or in a same category to what they've already purchased. So always look at setting up Aweber. It is a chargeable service. I think it's about $30 a month sorry, $19 a month. The first month's $19, and then they've got a pricing plan in there. So, sorry, no, first month is just $1, then it's $19 a month. And that gives you up to 500 subscribers. So the bigger the list grows, the higher the cost goes. So it is a brilliant way of making sure you stay in touch with people. I use it a lot. I use it exclusively. I've used it for probably 5 or 6 years now as a marketing tool, and it works extremely well. So if you are wanting to build up database of your clients, then that is something to use. Also, you can put in details of anybody else that you may sell through other platforms. The only thing you won't have through Amazon is a customer's email details, purely because Amazon mask their details and give them an Amazon email address, because Amazon don't want them remarketing to you, you remarketing to them rather. Now, once you've built that list up, and if you build it up from PayPal, I can tell you of another little trick which can bring you more business in. And this one is absolutely beautiful. What you can do is you can set yourself a budget, and let's say you've got $100, and I'm going to keep it in dollars just to get the point across. And you can send everybody on your list 5 cents. So that's about 3 pence, 2.5, 3 pence. So you send everybody a payment for 5 cents. Everybody who receives an email from PayPal that says you have funds opens that email. It's got nearly 100% open rate because it comes from PayPal. It is official. And what it will say is you've just been given 5 cents. And you will have approximately 160 characters, if I remember right, of text that you can use to market the reason why you have sent them 5 cents. Do you think that's pretty good? I do. I've used it. And it's called bulk email sending. PayPal allow you to do it. You have to set it up. You have to be approved. You've got to be an approved merchant with them to actually do that. You've got to have been with them a long time. You can't just go in and sell them 5 cents to everybody and hope for the best. You've got to have had a relationship. But once you've got that relationship, what a way of marketing to people. It's lovely. So you keep all their details, and then you send everybody that's ever made you a payment by PayPal 5 cents or 3p in the UK, or what is that, 2.5 cents in euros. You send that money out. So you could have £100 as a marketing budget, and you might have a brand new product that you're just bringing in, or a brand new invention that you're just bringing in as a product. Brilliant line, a new line that you've just imported in from another country as a white label product. All of a sudden, you've got a marketing audience. Brilliant stuff, this, isn't it? What you can actually start doing when you actually move forward, what a way to make money. So use Aweber to build your lists. Have a look at it. It's $19 a month. I think I pay $30, $40 a month. I can't remember now. But I've been on a scheme since, I say, 5, 6 years ago. So it's quite a long time. So Aweber is a brilliant place to actually grow a list of people that you can actually market to and talk to. Right, now then, multiple eBay accounts. Now, we've got somebody, a client of mine, and we've had to educate them a little bit. And this particular client had got 5 different eBay accounts under 5 different names and 5 different addresses, which he'd used all his friends. Don't know why he went down that route at the very beginning, never got to the bottom of that, but you don't need to go down that route. You can have multiple eBay accounts. I have. I've got multiple eBay accounts that I can use. You've got the one big one, which is the old one. But if you have a product that you want to sell and you don't want to sell it on the same account, you need to seek their permission and have a good reason to do it, but you can open up a separate account. So you couldn't sell identical like products on a different eBay account, but you can sell different products on two different eBay accounts. Give you an idea, wetsuits, we sold an awful lot of wetsuits, and we also sell a lot of in memoriam products. It would be totally reckless for us to be able to say, right, go and buy the wetsuit, and by the way, if a disaster happens, if you need an in memoriam product or plaque, we sell those as well. That would be totally inappropriate. So there is absolutely no problem in splitting that at all. So you can split your accounts. If your products are too similar, then eBay may say, no, we don't want you to have a second shop. But normally they are quite happy to do it. And you just make that phone call to them and you do that. So you can have multiple accounts. This particular guy, we got him to open 5 accounts and move them across. Move the product across and do it all properly. That brings up the next question, which we have somebody who wants to sell their eBay account. They want to sell the business, shall we say. Now, on eBay, you own your account. You're responsible for it. eBay does not allow you to sell your account to anybody. eBay owns the account. You are in control of the account. That means that if you do anything wrong on eBay, eBay can shut you down. Simple as that. Same with Amazon. Same with Play.com. All of the platforms. If you're a rogue trader, they'll close you down as soon as they spot you. However, there is a way round the opportunity on all of the platforms that offer similar rules. And the way round is quite easy. You create a limited company and you trade through your limited company. That way, if you sell the shares and the director's change of the limited company, people like eBay and the other platforms that operate this particular scenario cannot refuse to transfer the ownership, because they're not transferring the ownership of the company, it's the individuals that are changing. And there's nothing they can do because they're appointed as directors and people will sell their shares. That is allowable. So if you are looking at doing larger volumes of business and you're thinking far enough ahead to say, I want to sell this company at a later date, look at starting your trading as a limited entity and opening up the businesses under a limited entity. That may be too much for you at this stage. You may want to do it at a later date, but think about it and plan for it. It's planning ahead. And then if you are looking at 10, 15 years of growing something and then wanting to sell, that will be a good way to sell it. But I couldn't, my biggest eBay account now, I could not sell that to anybody because I own it, me personally. I could not sell it to anybody that's on this phone call. I could give you my username and password and you could sell from it, but under the terms and conditions of eBay, I am solely responsible for it. And if you made a mess of it, it would come back to me. Okay, now I've got another question here. 15% Luxembourg VAT opens a new window or tab where applicable. Learn more about rounding opens. Okay, not sure what the question is there. With VAT in Luxembourg, you are charged 15% VAT by Amazon, eBay, wherever they've got their places. The VAT is already there. If you're not VAT registered, it doesn't actually matter to you. You're being charged VAT for the services they provide, and that's on your fees and that type of thing. But it's already built in. They will send you a VAT notice for your records when you're trading on as a business. But your VAT, you're either going to get prices that you'll see net of VAT or including VAT. Luxembourg is outside some of the existing jurisdictions for tax purposes, and Luxembourg has a lower VAT threshold on your fees and charges that people like eBay, Amazon, and other people that are based out in Luxembourg actually charge you. So you don't need to worry about that. It's something you've got. You're going to pay that bit of VAT on your fees and things like that. And there's not a great deal you can do about that, to be honest. Sorry, I forgot I hadn't switched the camera back on. I get so carried away, I'm still looking at the Aweber data there. So another question here was buyer wants to cancel the item as a purchase. Well, if a buyer wants to cancel an item, just cancel it. Do you want the hassle of a customer service issue? Do you want the hassle of several emails going backwards and forwards? Yes, it may be inconvenient. Yes, it may cause you a problem. Just cancel it. You could send it to them, and if it's a brand new item and it's not been sold in auction and it's not been personalized, then they could send it back to you anyway under the distance selling regulations. Okay, they would have to pay the postage, but they could still do that. So if somebody wants to cancel something, my rule of thumb is fine, we'll cancel it, not a problem, done. Now there is another question in there which is about return postage. The customer, you should always make sure in your terms and conditions that the customer is responsible for the return postage, unless you are going to do free postage returns, which you can do if you want to. Now, if it's a free post return, obviously your return rate is going to be higher. So again, let's go back to the 100 units. If you're going to purchase 100 units and you're going to send those 100 units out, and let's say it's a non-breakable item, you're going to get 98% delivery. Brilliant, fine. 2 will go missing, not get delivered, whatever. You'll get 98% delivery. But if you put free returns and free post, what you're going to have to do is measure your sales by virtue of how much increase you're getting by applying that. And also you're going to have to add in the cost to every single item for the average you're going to get back as returns. Your return rate will go up. Your return rate may go up to 12 to 18% immediately, and it may go higher than that. So you need to really look at that. It's a great policy to have, but the only way that you can really do a free return is if you've already built in a wastage into your product and you're white labeling it, or you've got exclusive rights on it. If you haven't white labeled it and you haven't got exclusive rights, the chances are there's not going to be enough money in there to actually make that product returnable. I hope that makes sense. So do not offer free returns unless you've already done the maths. That is the question there. And make sure in your terms and conditions that you have stated that. Again, if you're using affiliate marketing or drop shipping and the person that you're selling the product for or reviewing and marketing the product for offers free returns, use that to your advantage as long as you have checked out in the small print whether you are penalized for any returns, so they don't pay you. Again, you need to work out what the numbers are. It may increase your sales by 50%, and the return rate might be low enough for you to take a profit. So it's something that needs testing and measuring to actually try it. So it may be something you try. You may split test it and have a big noise about it on one particular site and not say anything about it on another site. That way, that might work in split testing so that you can get the information. That was on that one. Now, where was the other one? Right, this one is looking at affiliate linking through Amazon, and can they actually create blogs and a service with extensions going to the product in Amazon? The answer to that is yes. If you want to affiliate a product into Amazon, you need to become an Amazon affiliated seller. So you will go into Amazon and you will find the relevant um, uh, part in there, and you will become an affiliated partner. Now, I'm just trying to remember, eBay call it the partner network. Amazon call it something slightly different. Let me just go over to screen share again. Let's have a look. Right at the bottom of Amazon, you can see there are lots of opportunities to make money on Amazon. Now, if you're selling online, you're thinking to yourself, what does this matter to me? Well, it does, because you could have other people, excuse me, you could have other people selling your products for you on their website as an Amazon affiliate. So it's the associates program. That's the word I'm looking for. So you can make money by getting other people to affiliate through Amazon to sell your products. How good is that? So if you're in the affiliate marketing field, then brilliant. Yes, review the products, sell them, and find the top selling products in niche categories. And this is something that I'm going to be going into a very, very big way for you, is so that you can understand how to take white label products, how to find products on Amazon that are selling really well, take those products, white label them, bring them in your own brilliant packaging from China, for argument's sake, and you can then sell them. But then there is nothing wrong with you saying to somebody, right, you sell those products for me on Amazon, please. Through the associates program, you promote them. So they can do that and they can sell stuff there. And there's lots of things that you can actually do with Amazon to actually make money. So driving traffic to Amazon is good if you're selling physical products. Not only can you drive traffic to Amazon if you really want to, but you can actually have people driving traffic to your products for you. And you can be doing this through places like Facebook, Google Plus, and other social media as well. Again, things that we're really getting heavily involved with. Now, interestingly, I am working directly with Facebook. I have a Facebook account manager in Barcelona, would you believe? Adam in Barcelona. I've got him now for another 3 weeks, and we are going through Facebook marketing, remarketing, and targeting. Everything I'm doing is being recorded, and these recordings are going to be coming out exclusive to you guys as and when I've got all of the information. It is very complex, but I can tell you now, it is already making a difference to my sales. I am seeing an increase of activity on certain products that I'm testing this with, and I'm already seeing an increase in sales. So I've only just gone, if you think about, if I put it as a diving term, I'm probably only 2 feet down in the water. I haven't hit that 18 meters level yet. So, great resources. So always look for other people that can affiliate for you and sell your products. You don't always need to be doing them yourself. You can set up private agreements if you want to, where they're doing it for you and you're paying them. The only problem then you've got is making sure that you've got pixels and cookies that actually track those from their website to yours on the sale. So you need to have a little bit of an understanding on doing that. But that is possibly something for later on, but it is something for you to be aware of. Okay, now I've got a question here. There is so much, and yeah, I totally agree. There is so much stuff that you can do to actually start your business off. And You do need to get a lot of things right at the very beginning. You can outsource certain tasks if you want to, and you can outsource to places like Desk is a good one. If that comes up, is it working? Yes, it's working. So Odesk, Elance, Fiverr.com for small things. There are lots and lots of places out there. Craigslist is another one. There are loads of places, loads of outsourcing services that you can use to actually do certain things. Cheers, Google. Love it when it does that. That's one of the beauties of doing these things live, is that it doesn't always work. So Elance is another good one. If it's going to go through, it's not going to, is it? Okay, looks as if my internet is going on a go slow. It's probably because I'm broadcasting live as well. It does happen. Just unable to access network. Okay, so we'll come out of that by the looks of it. Nope, there you go, we're in. So Elance is a really good one. These are people all over the world. Now, one of the things on outsourcing jobs that can be done on the computer is you really need people that you can trust. Now, I've got people I know and trust that do certain things. I've got lots of contacts that use people that they know and trust. I've got people in the Philippines, as most of you know. I've got some people in the UK. I've got somebody who I've just started working with who is over in Turkey. And, I've got a guy over in the States that I use occasionally for certain things. So I've got a network of yeah, we're back. I'm not sure what happened there. We must have had a dip. Okay. Well, we're still there and live by the looks of it. Are we still live? Have I still got you all? Right, let's have a look. Yep, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Right, I haven't got everything working here, so hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, it's telling me I've still got you in. I just haven't got my side column anymore. That has been disabled. So I've obviously just had a power out of some description or a power down. So it looks as if you can see me. So do apologise about that, but that's one of the beauties of doing things live, and I suppose that's one of the beauties of being over here in France as well, although I've got good broadband. So we've got time for one more question. Now, I can't see anything that you may be sending in at the moment. That part has dropped out and died. Back again. Yep. Okay. Okay, I do apologize, folks. I do apologize. It's still saying that you're all there, and I've obviously had a technical glitch here. I've obviously asked the computer to do far too much tonight. So, one last question here that we were looking at. And it was about policies and making sure you've got your terms and conditions and policies together. Now then, if you're going to be a very large concern, then you need to go and take legal advice. I'm not qualified to give you legal advice. Having said that, what I have done is I have looked at Amazon's terms and conditions, eBay's terms and conditions, and used those as part of my terms and conditions. I look at it quite simply. I want to play the game, I want to make money, and I need to be able to look after my customers. So There's nothing I can do about the distance selling regulations. There's nothing I can do about returns. There's nothing I can do about money being withheld if I'm going to offer a 30-day guarantee by the credit card companies and things like that. There's nothing that I can do about those things. They are there, they're reality. So I build in my pricing to make sure I'm covered on that. And that is what I would suggest to you, is if you're going down the route of working and dealing in these areas, is that you adapt the policies that are out there. And if something goes wrong, just fix it. As simple as that. Just fix it and move on. I've gone there and I've decided, no, I'm going to argue this one with a client. And it's never a good thing to do, because all that does is causes problems between you and the client. What I've tended to do now is go down the route of, how much is it going to cost? If it's going to cost me 50 quid to, or $100 to fix something, fix it. I'd sooner make that 50 quid, $100 up in other ways. Just fix it. And that is what my teams are charged with. If there is a problem, let's fix it. If it goes over a certain amount of money, they have to ask me what I want to do. But normally I will just say, if it's going to cost 50 quid, do it. End of story, move on, sort it, and then we'll obviously make some money elsewhere. So there we are. I'm going to apologize for the dip. I cannot see anything anymore from the live chat or anything like that, so I apologize for that. That bit has gone down. That's just saying that it is temporarily disabled. So that is good old Google Hangout for you and Google technology. This will be recorded and will be available very shortly to you through YouTube. You'll be able to pick up and run with it. If you have any other questions, then drop them to me at andrew@h2so.org, and I will pick up with those later on. I do have a call that I'm making now to a client. So the client in question is or was on the webinar. So give me 5 minutes and I will be with you. Thank you very much for your attention. Any comments, any thoughts, any feedback that you have, send it over to me. Technical feedback, yeah, I get the message. I don't know what happened there, but we obviously had a blip. I think I just overdid trying to actually get Google to pick up some stuff for you. So that is something I will obviously have to remember for the future. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Don't forget, email anything you want, or obviously you have my direct line number over here, which is 01244. That's UK, obviously, 01244 941 004. And that comes through my Skype line. So it's great, isn't it? I can be in France and have a UK telephone number that rings and you hardly notice the difference in the quality of the call. I absolutely love it. Thank you very much. Speak to you all soon. Look forward to exchanging emails with you, and this will be ready for you to watch again very, very soon as a replay. Take care. Bye for now.